get out tomorrow morning, get out and vote, and let's make it a sweeping victory. The whole world is watching Tennessee right now.
There is nothing as delicious as watching a woman get it done, making Trump mad in the process. Because what do you mean? Not only did he post this to True Social, but he pinned it, telling the American people.
All right, Fox News just had to cut away as Donald Trump went on an increasingly angry tirade in front of an entire room of rally attendees in Tennessee. Speaker of the House Mike Johnson is out there rallying for a special election that is happening in Tennessee's 7th District tomorrow on December 2nd. If you live in Tennessee, check to make sure that you are ready to vote in that election if you're in the district. Either way, the stakes of this election are rather high because Marjorie Taylor Greene is resigning from the House very, very soon, in about a month, and the Republican majority is growing slimmer and slimmer and slimmer ahead of the midterm. So
in Tennessee right now, the Republican Party is using the lack of education and understanding that their voting base has to send out mailers and scare their voting base.
How do you know someone is desperate except if what we are about to watch here happens and you watch it and you listen with your own ears? We know the Maga base has been reducing day by day. A lot of people deciding not to run for re-election. Others are retiring, okay? With no promise of them coming back for anything. Now tell me why, when Michael Johnson was campaigning for this, MAGA man in Tennessee, I think the congressional district, 7 or something like that, Orange Man calls in desperately, begging people. Guys, it's not the only thing. Oh my God, you got... I watched with my mouth open. I'm like, actually, this is happening, right? They sent brochures, I think, trying to beg the MAGA base and actually also threatening them that if they don't vote, they are going to know that they didn't vote. And they also sent other brochures telling Democrats that the voting day is supposed to be Wednesday. Gosh! You people, on top of that, the man is crashing out and panicking on Twitter. He's everywhere spiraling. Why don't we watch these videos? The reactions people have to this. And we will be back to talk about it. If you are watching from Tennessee, today is Tuesday. The Congressional District 7, okay? Today is Tuesday. You guys, you know what to do because a lot of people are coming out to already tell you, go and vote. And you're going to see their voices. I'll be back with more. Let me know what you think.
all right, Fox News just had to cut away as Donald Trump went on an increasingly angry tirade in front of an entire room of rally attendees in Tennessee. Speaker of the House Mike Johnson is out there rallying for a special election that is happening in Tennessee's 7th District tomorrow on December 2nd. If you live in Tennessee, check to make sure that you are ready to vote in that election if you're in the district. Either way, the stakes of this election are rather high because Marjorie Taylor Greene is resigning from the House very, very soon, in about a month, and the Republican majority is growing slimmer and slimmer and slimmer ahead of the midterm. So they need this seat. Donald Trump can't really hide how much they need this seat. He calls in, and as he's ranting and raving, you can hear the spit flying out of his mouth. Speaker of the House Mike Johnson is sitting there just listening. He doesn't even get to say anything. Look how awkwardly he's standing there. Just to back up, the reason why the Republican Party is in a panic is right here. As Zachary points out, Democrats have now logged 2 straight months of voter registration gains in Pennsylvania, a break from nearly a decade of steady Republican growth. It's one of the clearest quantitative signs so far of the recent broader, quote-unquote, vibe shift towards Democrats. But again, this vibe shift is actually seen in the numbers. It's also seen in Donald Trump's approval rating tanking every single day. Just watch a moment of this.
Of course, I mean, it's a disaster if it holds towards the midterm elections. And I should note, of course, it's not alone. I mean, just take a look here. This is Gallup. This is the longest running poll. You know, Gallup has been conducting polls since my father was a kid, and my father was born in 1927, had me in his 60s. Look at this in January. Donald Trump's not approval rating. Not too bad, not too great. It was at -1 point, right within the margin of error, breaking even. But look at this now. Negative 24 points, way down. We're talking about a drop of over 20 points in the wrong direction for the President of the United States. Minus 24 points, that's a 23-point move in the incorrect direction if you're the president. And of course, what's so important here, Sarah Seidner, is it matches the trend that we've seen with other polls. That is Donald Trump hitting his low for the second term. I was doing the count last night. I think we're up to 10 polls in sort of the last 40 days, 10 different pollsters who have said that Trump is at the lowest point he is in his second term.
It is not going well. So this brings us to today. Speaker of the House Mike Johnson is in Franklin, Tennessee, in Tennessee's 7th Congressional District, rallying for Van Epps. I'm personally a big fan of Afton Bain. Check out Afton Bain for Tennessee. Amazing candidate. The Democratic candidate is getting closer and closer. Please, if you live in Tennessee, go tell your friends and family. But let's look at what Mike Johnson, or how Mike Johnson reacts to Donald Trump's long tirade. As usual, make sure to drop a like. Make sure to subscribe below. And if you want the Release the Epstein Files merch, click the link below.
Remember, he's got a majority of three. And there aren't many people can do that, but we have to win this seat. We've gotten you the largest tax cuts in history, and the new bill, the great big beautiful bill, kicks in, as you know, on January 1st. Hasn't even kicked in yet. And then you have no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime.
I'm sorry, but this is like a desperate used car salesman. He says they only have a 3 majority, which is true. So he's saying how desperate he is. Then he says, we have to win this seat. What about the new bill? Guys, what about the new bill?
If you borrow money to buy a car, you get a deduction that's never happened before. All these things kick in on January 1st. A lot of people go get them and get out tomorrow morning, get out and vote, and let's make it a sweeping victory. The whole world is watching Tennessee right now, and they're watching your district. The whole world. It's a big vote. It's going to show something, and it's got to show that the Republican Party is stronger than it's
All right,
ever
President
been.
Trump.
Donald Trump is publicly panicking about an upcoming special election, which may effectively end his presidency 2 years in advance. Trump is panicking so much that not only is he ranting and raving and begging on Truth Social, he's literally calling Mike Johnson's phone, and Mike Johnson is having to put Donald Trump on speaker on live TV as Trump begs people to come out and vote for the Republicans. This is stunning, but before we unpack all that, if you end up liking this video and you want to support the channel, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and alert bells before you go. All right, friends, even I am stunned at how transparently begging and desperate Donald Trump is, okay? So as Politics and Poll Tracker notes, Trump makes another plea for Republicans to turn out in the special election for Tennessee's 7th Congressional District. He goes, I'm asking all America First patriots in Tennessee's 7th Congressional District who haven't voted yet to please get out and vote on Election Day, Tuesday, December 2nd, for a phenomenal candidate, Matt Van Epps. Matt is fighting against a woman who hates Christianity, who'll take away your guns, who wants open borders, transgender for everybody, men and women's sports, and openly disdains country music. She said all of these things precisely and without question. It's on tape. Do not take this race for granted. The radical left Democrats are spending a fortune to beat one of the best candidates we've ever had, Matt Van Epps. You can win this election for Matt. Get out and vote for Matt Van Epps, who has my complete and total endorsement. He will never let you down. That's not the first nor the last post that Donald Trump has made about this. He's begging people to turn out for this election. Mike Johnson, who is campaigning for the Republican candidate, gets a call from Trump, and Trump's like, put me on speakerphone. I gotta beg. Do you know how this is like those 80s movies where you're standing outside the girl you're trying to win back and you got the boombox. What does it say? Anything with Cusack. I'm blanking on his name, but you know the scene I'm talking about? Like, please take me back. I'm playing the music. Mike Johnson's doing that here to the electorate of Tennessee's 7th Congressional District, except instead of a boombox, it's Donald Trump on speakerphone.
In Tennessee right now, the Republican Party is using the lack of education and understanding that their voting base has to send out mailers and scare their voting base. My friend Corey, CFH Unfiltered, posted this video that I have reposted, but I'm going to make one of my own, and I hope that if you make content, you make one of your own as well. This is the flyer. There's 2 sides. The first side says, voting is public record. Your neighbors are watching, and we will know if you miss this critical special election. The Republican Party officials will see if you don't vote. You can't afford to have that on your record. And then on the flip side of that, It says the Tennessee Republican Party will see whether you have voted. We're compiling an official list of Republicans who failed to vote. Why are you doing that? What's that going to do? But voters who don't understand will think that they're going to come for them. So this is a threat to me from the Republican Party in Tennessee to their voters. I don't know. I'm just saying, this is a threat. If you are a Republican voter and you don't see this as a threat, girl, you're in danger. But that's not even the worst of it. The worst is that there's a mailer going out to Democrats that is urging them to vote on December 3rd. Election day is December 2nd. December 2nd. Okay? We don't vote on Wednesdays, friends. We vote on Tuesdays. Always have. So December 2nd is Tuesday, and that's when Tennessee 7th Congressional District will vote for Afton Bain. So if you are generally a Republican voter and you're tired of being threatened by the Republican Party and people in that party, maybe vote for Afton Bain. If you're a Democratic voter, make sure you show up to the polls on December 2nd and make sure that your Nana knows or your grandparents or your parents know we don't vote on Wednesdays. We're voting on December 2nd.
There is nothing as delicious as watching a woman get it done, making Trump mad in the process. Because what do you mean? Not only did he post this to True Social, but he pinned it, telling the American patriots they need to get out and vote in the 7th Congressional District of Tennessee, and then referring to Afton Bain as just a woman, saying that he's fighting against a woman. He doesn't even use her name because he's fucking scared of what this means for him and the Republican Party, and he should be. So I'll give you her name. It's Afton Bain, a progressive candidate out of Tennessee who has narrowed the margins on this to 2 points. Keep in mind, Trump won that district by 22 points, and now the estimate is that there is only a 2-point difference in the race. That's insane. So first, if you are in the 7th Congressional District in Tennessee, I'm gonna need you to do the thing tomorrow, and then I'm gonna need you to get other people to do it too. Tomorrow, December 2nd. And let's just be crystal clear. No matter what the outcome is, whether she wins and it's the biggest upset in decades, which would be fucking delicious, or even if she just comes in close and closes the gap to single digits, that is going to be a 5-alarm fire for Republicans, and they know it. That means that even the safest seats across this country aren't safe, because the reality is people aren't happy with Trump's policies. They don't support giving tax breaks to the rich and these tariffs that are increasing prices, no matter what Republicans want you to believe.
A special election is happening in Tennessee tomorrow to fill a vacant House seat. Now, I wouldn't normally cover this story, but there's something very strange happening with that particular seat, and the outcome of that race could leave Speaker Mike Johnson with a real math problem. And you know what happens when there's math involved. Hey, why am I talking about a random Tennessee special election? And more importantly, why should you be paying attention to this random Tennessee special election? Well, because this race for the 7th Congressional District is actually close. And it has no business being close. This is a ruby red district, and the Democrat in the race, depending on which poll you're looking at, is only a few percentage points behind the Republican frontrunner. Let me be clear, this is not normal for this district. The fact is, President Trump won this very same district, the 7th Congressional District, in 2024 by 22 points. The Republican who currently holds the seat and is retiring won it with 60% of the vote. This is a Republican district, period, full stop. So how is this Democrat making this race competitive at all? Well, remember just a few weeks ago when we had those special elections in Virginia and New Jersey, and Democrats swept everything just up and down the ticket? Well, what we're seeing in Tennessee could be a continuation of that. And the Republicans know it. The party is so concerned that House Speaker Mike Johnson is physically in Tennessee today, making multiple campaign stops with the Republican candidate. And President Trump himself has held virtual rallies on behalf of this Republican candidate. That only happens when things are close. Now, there is no guarantee that the Democrat in this race is going to win. And in the end, she very well may lose. But even if this race is remotely close, that could be a very big problem for Republicans as we move into the midterms. Why? To the math. Right now, there are 219 Republicans in the House of Representatives and 213 Democrats. There are currently 3 vacancies. One of those vacancies is this Tennessee House race for a Republican seat, and the other 2 are Democrat seats that are vacant. So let's assume those 2 Democrat seats will stay with the Democrats. So now let's say there's just the one seat, that Tennessee seat, and now this is no longer 213, it is now 215. So there would be 219 Republicans and 215 Democrats. Okay, just stay with me here. Now, for argument's sake, let's say the unthinkable happens and that Democrat in Tennessee flips that seat. So then there would be 0 vacancies, and now there might be 216 Democrats in the House of Representatives. So that means if Speaker Mike Johnson wanted to pass a bill with only Republican priority, so then 0 Democrats would be voting for it, he would need 218 votes. But remember, of course, 0 Democrats are going to vote for this Republican priority bill. So he would have to pull these 218 from right here, which means he would only be able to lose 1 Republican vote. That is going to be extremely difficult for him to manage over and over until the midterms. But there's one more problem coming Speaker Johnson's way in January, and that is the retirement of Marjorie Taylor Greene. She is going to be vacating her Republican seat at the beginning of January, which means if this scenario plays out, instead of 219 Republicans, in January, there are going to be 218 Republicans, which means if that voting scenario happens again with a Republican priority bill, House Speaker Mike Johnson is going to have 0 votes to spare. 0. At least until there is a new Republican who will likely fill Marjorie Taylor Greene's seat. But that'll be months away. So this could be a real scenario that Speaker Mike Johnson is going to have to deal with for at least a couple of months before the 2026 midterm elections. So if somehow that Democrat pulls off a win in Tennessee, or even if she loses by a few points tomorrow night, Republicans could really be facing an uphill battle to keep the House majority after the midterms.
There's no question on many key votes coming up over the next several months, Matt Van Epps will be the hero. I mean, he will be the deciding vote. There's no question about it. And it will make all the difference for the entire country.
Tennessee, deny this evil ventriloquist dummy the satisfaction of this happening by showing up tomorrow and voting for Afton Bain. Okay, if only for this reason. There are plenty of other reasons you should vote for her, by the way, over Matt Van Epps, her opponent. She's not taking any corporate PAC money. This guy is backed almost entirely by billionaires. He just had a closed-door event where his potential constituents were not allowed to go in. Okay, her entire platform is making things more affordable. His entire platform is voting in lockstep with Donald Trump and doing whatever he wants, and this little fucking weasel, whatever this guy wants. It is clear as day who you should vote for tomorrow. We can do this. We can flip this seat. We are polling within the margin of error in a district that Donald Trump carried by 20 fucking points. Do you understand? We can do this if you show up. Get out of your house and vote tomorrow. Please, I beg of you.
I can't believe I'm going to say this, but the biggest political story of the day is going to be a competitive congressional race in the heart of Trump country. We're talking deep, deep MAGA land. It's Tennessee's 7th congressional district. Mark Green, the Republican, is retiring. And just to give you a sense of how ruby red this area is, he won in 2024, just last year. Sorry, that's Charlie. Just to give you a sense of how ruby red this district is, Mark Green, the Republican who is retiring, won Tennessee's 7th congressional district in 2024 by 21.5 percentage points. 2022, just 2 years before that, 21.9 percentage points. So this should not even be close. The House Speaker, Mike Johnson, went down for a last-minute campaign rally. The president called in. There have been millions of dollars spent by MAGA-related super PACs in order to try to keep this seat in GOP hands.
Let's deliver a decisive victory tomorrow.
Democrats also see an opening, so they're spending money as well. Now, the obvious question is why? Why is it close? Well, the Democrat, Afton Bain, has been playing up affordability, talking about issues that make her sound like a populist, which is part of the playbook for Democrats, certainly in the special elections and in this election year.
Good evening, Tennessee Democrats!
Here's the thing about special elections. It tends to be just the most motivated voter who actually goes to the polls. And that motivation right now is anger and frustration. Not entirely, but that is the driving force. And that's why Republicans and Democrats I've been talking to leading into this election day say that they think that the margin could be in the single digits, the low single digits. Compare that to the 22 percentage point gap between the Republican and the Democrat just last year. The Republicans are going to say a win is a win, and they're not wrong. If they don't lose a seat in the House, that is a big deal. It's such a narrow majority. But you can bet that Democrats, in fact, I know in talking to senior Democrats about this, they are going to use even a narrow loss as a way to energize the base even more and as a way to raise money for the biggie, which of course are the midterms next year.
My name is Gracie. I am based in Uganda, East Africa. I want you guys to let me know where you are based, where you are watching me from. And yes, welcome to the channel. Thank you so much to all of you that tune in every day to watch and support. Yes, more members, you guys do me absolutely amazing. Back to, the nugget of the day. I think, the kicks of I feel like these are kicks of a dying horse. Because if you're losing the biggest portion of your base, that means they are going to lose control of the House. They are not going to be the majority in the House anymore. That means they lose control over the House. And what does Papa do? Of course, he goes to people that have no idea of the things that he's talking about. These people don't know what the big, beautiful bill is about to do, strip them of their health care. The tax breaks that they are talking about, these benefit the rich. You must make a certain amount of money. You must be under a certain income bracket for you to get a tax cut. And in this case, it must be 100K. Tell me of the people that he's talking to know any of this. Of course, blabber and say everything, do not go to details. How many of these people make that much? No tax on tips. Well, that is, tips that are on cash. Two, the tips on that are charged by whatever credit card and all of that, debit card and stuff like that, well, that has to get a tax because, yes, then your employers have to get to know about it. No tips on overtime. I think that one is working. Those of you that are working, please let us know. Does your overtime get taxed? I would like to know. But like I said, the tax cuts go to the people that make more. Those are not middle income people. Those are not the normal people that vote for him. No, these are people literally that are billionaires and millionaires and owners of corporations that control America, control what you eat, control what you drink, control what you get and what you don't get to get. Yeah, meanwhile, he invites them in a luxurious party. But let's just get away from that. I think that desperation speaks for itself. You heard him on the call. We have to get out there and vote. We need this seat and all of that. If you have confidence in your party and you indeed know that your party really serves the interests of the people, then you should have enough confidence in your voters. Now, you have seen as well other people from the Democrat side as well urging their members to go out and vote because now this looks like it's a very competitive seat. Everybody wants it because it means a lot to each side. But from the look of things, because this has been a predominantly, MAGA voter base, this means even way so much to the Magas, because if they lose it, that creates doubt in the base. That reduces its power and its influence, and they don't want to lose it. That's why the money is over here spiraling over and over and over again. To one extent, desperation is causing them to send misleading information about when the voting day is supposed to be. That is wild, okay? I am not here to tell anybody anything, but all I am trying to say is today is the voting day. Okay, today is Tuesday, and I know by the time you probably look at this video, if you were in Tennesse, the 7th Congressional District, you know what today is, and you know what to do. Just do your thing, okay? And I will be right here, absolutely, to tell you the results, okay? If the Dem side wins, well, we will definitely present that. If the Republican side wins, we will tell you that too, so that you get to know. I don't want to leave you guys hanging. Of course, you will know anyway, even if I don't tell you, right? But the panic in the base is very obvious, and it is what it is, and it makes quite a lot of sense. I want you guys to let me know what you think in the comment section. Please like and share, and if you have anybody that is in that district, ask them if they have voted, and if they haven't, remind them to go and do so. I love you, and I'll see you guys later. Till then, my name is Gracie. See you later. Bye.